Welcome to day 12 of the handstand challenge. So we're going to focus on freestanding handstands today. We're going to make a little bit of changes to your bind as well if you've got any equipment for it. So we're going to go through warm up your shoulders, warm up your wrists, and warm up your hamstrings and your posterior chain. What we're going to do is we're going to introduce a concept of loaded mobility though. So when you're doing your standing straddle stretch, we're just going to take some small weight. If you've got it, again, if you don't worry, stick with the standing straddle stretch. And we're going to try and use a little bit of weight, maybe like a small dumbbell or Olympic weight plate if you've got them available. Just anything you can find onto your back, just to kind of like load from your upper back. So again, I'll just go grab a plate quickly. Should have had this ready. But we're going to go into your standing straddle stretch. This time, just going to place the plate on your upper back. Just gentle grip. Again, we're still focusing on leading back with the hips. We're going to pull down for 1, 2, 3, and stand tall. Not really spending longer than 3 seconds in the stretch at the bottom. So it's push back with the hips. Pull for a little bit more. 1, 2, 3, and then. For our bind today, we're going to do 3 movements, 2 rounds. We're going to focus on straddle drags. We're going to then do scapular push-ups, and then we're going to do kicks. So we're going to do scissor kicks. So you're going to kick up with one leg. When one leg's in the air, you're going to try and bring the other leg down just as your first leg is coming back up again. So what we want to see out of this is you're just trying to find a moment where you're weightless in the air. You're not trying to hit a handstand. You're not trying to bring both legs together at the top. You're just trying to kind of like use one to bring you up and swap over as the other one's coming back down. So hopefully it should look a little bit like this. Make sure you're not under any light fittings. Hands directly beneath your shoulders. We're going to kick up with 1 and back down. For the skill component today, we're going to work on your freestanding handstands. What I'm going to do personally, I'm going to set a time for 10 minutes, and then I'm going to just count basically how long I can spend balancing in that position. I'm not going to count unless you actually feel like you're weightless. I'm not going to start counting when I kick. It'll only be when I'm holding that position, and it's just to give me a little bit of accountability for in that 10 minutes, see what my density is like in terms of how long I'm actually spending in a handstand. Again, try and be fairly consistent. If you're going to do this, just spend 10 minutes trying to kick up into a handstand. Like I say, if you're not adept at kicking up to a wall, practice kicking up to a wall for 10 minutes. Again, don't kick continuously if you're going to do that. Kick up once or twice, take a bit of a rest, come back to the wall refreshed each time, practicing that. Again, if you're not confident spending any time upside down, just walk up the wall. Like I say, is you can start off just walking your feet up a little bit and holding in your hollow position. And then come back down well before you fatigue. Don't get to the point where you need to drop. I'm still going to stick with the rules of you're going to get 1 burpee if you step 1 hand forward, and we're going to get 3 burpees if you do 2 hands forward. So I'll film the whole thing today just so that you can see how many burpees I get at the end. So I'm going to have a number of seconds that I spend in a handstand in that 10 minutes, but also kind of like how many burpees I get in total. So as you can see, like I turned after about 5 minutes, I struggled with the freestanding, so I turned to crow pose. So it was with the freestanding, I got 53 seconds. So I'll keep a count of that and make sure I record it for next time. And I got 14 burpees. What I didn't think about, and I was a bit harsh on myself, is we didn't think about, because we haven't gone through them yet, is pirouettes. One way of kind of like sensibly dismounting from a handstand is where you turn one hand to come out, so you're coming down onto the sides of it. But I still gave myself burpees for that, but that's really kind of like a more sensible way of coming out of the handstand. So if you don't want to, don't give yourself burpees if you're turning out a bit, but if you're going kicking up and then going into a handstand walk, 100% give yourself burpees. So for the workout component, we're going to work on pike push-ups and hollow rocks. Okay, so we've done hollow holds before. For hollow rocks, your goal is to hold the hollow or the boat position and then rock backwards and forwards. I always tell people in the class that what you're thinking about here is not throwing your head forwards and backwards, not trying to gain momentum with any one part of your body like bending at the hip, but really about kind of like shifting your weight distribution from one side to the other. So if you imagine that this is my legs and this is my head, we don't want to flick the legs up to try and get that position. What we want to try and do is just keep the position and rock backwards and forwards. If you're first doing kind of hello, how are you? If you're first doing kind of hollow holds, it's a bit of a tough concept to get that the body's moving as one piece, not in individual parts or bending or flexing at the hips. You gonna help me? You do some gymnastics? Oh, sorry. In terms of number of repetitions that you're doing for the pike push-ups, I'm going to leave that up to you. The important thing is your positioning. So we're thinking about your headstands. We'll probably go through headstands at some point, but your tripod position. So imagine that your head, so imagine Oreo's head is where my head's going to go. My hands would want to be back here and my head would want to be forwards of it. Yeah, so we want to try and make sure, you're going to make this very hard for you to demonstrate, aren't you? So we're going to make sure that your head is going way out in front and then back up again. So in weightlifting, we tend to use an RPE scale. So an RPE of 7 would mean that you've got 3 more repetitions in the tank, and that's what we're going to go for. So try and leave yourself 3 repetitions. Don't go to the point where you're losing your position, where you're losing your form. As soon as you've finished, you're going to do 30 seconds of hollow rocks, which is really tough. Again, is if you need to scale hollow for the RX version, you're going to create a long body, rock backwards and forwards. If you're going to scale it, bend one knee. Not a big fan of grabbing a hold of one knee, but try and keep that position. Really pull your knee into your chest. That's going to keep chest. That's going to keep your hip tucked underneath. And if you need to scale any further, just going into your, we call it armadillo position, or an egg position. There's a story behind that, but let's not get into that now. So 3 rounds, RPE 7 on your pike push-ups. If you struggle with the pike push-ups, you could do an eccentric as well, which is that you're starting at the top, get a cushion or something in front of you, lower it down. Once you touch the floor, bend your knees, bring it back up again. Yep. So you're going to do RPE 7 on pike push-ups or eccentrics, straight into 30 seconds hollow rocks.